That's where those kids are.
Groot. Baby Groot.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Come on.
Too much.
It was kind of a
Adorable.
toss-up.
Alright, hi everybody. We are Nerd Jams. I'm Shannon.
I'm Jadon.
And look who's back.
Adam.
Chris Pratt. I'm just kidding.
No.
Star-Lord himself.
Please dress up like him as Halloween.
I've kind of been thinking about doing it.
Like you could cut your beard, grow your whatever, and everything. Every time I saw him in his long jacket, that's all I thought about. The slow-mo walk. Like, just do it.
I was thinking about it.
have to be.
Just actually do it this year.
Alright, well, we are going to be doing our review, recap, whatever, fangirling, boying, of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Volume 2.
Volume 2.
Very true.
I apparently have a difference of opinion than these guys. I thought it was better than the first one, right? I loved it. I thought it was better than the first one. It kept my attention the whole time, and I did not roll my eyes as hard. The entire time I watched the first one, I was just like, this is stupid.
No, yeah, see, it was completely different for me. Like, this one, like, I was kind of like, oh, okay, let's move it along. And it wasn't like constantly, just every so often I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen? But the first one, I was just...
But you knew Guardians before, right?
The whole time.
Both of you knew Guardians of the Galaxy before the movie.
Yeah.
So I had no idea what it was. None whatsoever.
No, like, it's kind of like Doctor Strange, but like a little bit more, I don't know, they're a lot more popular now, or even like right before the movies came out, but Doctor Strange and Guardians of the Galaxy are like, who are these? I didn't even know this existed, so.
Okay.
Even among fans.
Alright, well, let's go. What were your grievances with it then? That was just the pace of it?
Yeah, like, I don't know. I was not feeling Chris Pratt in this one.
Oh, really?
Shocker, I know.
All this is shocking.
I love him. Not just because there's a resemblance, but no, I really do. I genuinely love Chris Pratt, and I just wasn't feeling him in this one.
That's how I felt about him in the first one. I felt like he was so forced in the first one, like the dance-off.
See, no, it felt so natural.
Dance-off is one of my hated moments in all Marveldom.
So I don't know, but to have Chris Pratt in that role, to then be like, it's dance-off, and he starts dancing, and I was like, I'm just distracting you. You know?
So I laughed when it happened. But
yeah.
When I was looking back on it, it's like...
So what about your grievances for Volume 2?
in
In a nutshell, we can get in deeper in just a few minutes.
Oh, I'm surprised like his reaction because I thought you liked it because you were a couple people down, so I could hear you laugh every so often. So I couldn't.
No. I mean, generally, I did like it. I did like it. Just not as much as I enjoyed the first one, but I did like this movie.
I liked it. I like it. I mean, I like parts of it a lot, but overall, I think it's one of Marvel's worst films. And that's not to say it's like complete garbage, but it's just like because like most of Marvel is really good, but this one is low on the totem pole for me.
Yeah, I thought it was
interesting. Yeah. I loved it. And maybe it's because I had such low expectations. Maybe that's what it is. Because I had only seen previews for the first one, and I didn't watch it in the theaters. I watched it just at home and with no one else. And I think I was on my phone most of the time because I don't remember seeing Kurt from Gilmore Girls. He's what is his name? Cracklin?
Sean Gunn.
Sean Gunn. Yeah, had no idea.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I love him. He's Kurt from Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
So I didn't see
I've
him.
never seen Gilmore Girls, so...
Gilmore
Girls. That's... I don't watch it, so I can't even pronounce it. Gilmore Girls.
He also plays Rocket. He's the motion capture for Rocket.
Well, he's the on-set Rocket.
Yeah.
Right.
Bradley Cooper is the voice for Rocket, and I had no clue.
Yeah. No. My sister did that during the movie. She just kind of leans over. She's like, Bradley Cooper's playing the raccoon. Yeah. No.
It sounds nothing like there's not one moment where his voice comes through.
I think it's. I think it's him through and through.
Really?
Yeah.
I dislike not one moment.
Not consistently. Like there. I mean, I would agree that overall, I would never assume Bradley Cooper right away without seeing his name attached to it. But occasionally knowing it's just like, oh yeah, there it is.
Oh.
There it is.
See, and I kept listening for it. The Rocket was probably one of my least favorites in the first movie.
What? He was my
Yeah,
favorite.
he just
in the first
annoyed
movie.
me. Like, well, we talked about how they go over the top with the jokes sometimes.
So yeah, some
And
of
so
his
I
didn't
felt like
land.
he was just over the top.
Some of his don't land.
But this movie, this volume, I loved him. And I love how it's constantly, are you just trying to be an asshole?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a professional? Yeah, I'm a pro.
yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, that was one of my things is I don't like the language in this one. All the swearing because it's Marvel.
There's not that much.
For a Marvel movie, there's a lot.
No. I would say there's an increasing amount more. However, my take on that is they're just kind of a ragtag group of misfits who happen to be heroes. So for them to kind of have that more, not foul language, but more
they're
cursing,
around the edge,
a little more. I can't even think of the word, but yeah. I feel like that was a little more fitting for this movie.
It's definitely more fitting for them, but the first time I watched it, there's a 6-year-old girl sitting next to me. And she kept leaning over to her mom asking, "What's penis mean?" And
that's not bad language, that's anatomy.
No, I know, but it goes along with the humor as well. But
that's a sheltered 6-year-old because I've read some that could probably give you a lesson.
They're in Utah.
Yeah, that is true.
Anyways, when you have Rocket calling someone a shitbag and she's like, "What does that mean?" And like the whole time, it's like, for Marvel, they have that tone where they
it's
can
PG-13.
you can bring your kid in.
It's PG-13 though.
Even still, with Marvel movies, it's always the only questionable thing you have to worry about with them is whether the violence is a little bit too intense. With every single Marvel movie, they don't have they don't have that tone of that kind of humor or resorting to anatomy jokes and stuff like that. It's never been that. So
that's a legitimate question, though. Like, do you have a penis?
No, it is. Yeah, but I don't think it has a place in this studio.
See, that's what's funny because.
But yeah,
I mean, if you don't mind me saying, like, you cuss,
subjective.
and I have cussing. I cuss, and like people around me cuss. So when I watch TV shows and movies where you normally would cuss, I feel more out of it. When I'm like, well, obviously they would drop an F-bomb there. Like Gilmore Girls on Netflix cussed, and I cheered out loud. Like, I know you don't. That doesn't make any sense to you, but the first time they dropped the swear word, I was just like, oh my god.
I don't mind swearing, but it has to be with the right tone and like the right niche or whatever.
I see where you're coming from, where it's Marvel Studios and they are more of a target toward family.
Yeah,
I get that. Excuse me, but again, they're going. Every movie's going to be kind of different based on who the heroes are.
I was still laughing, but I'm
with you. And I get where you're saying.
Yeah.
I just take it as like it's the Guardians. Like that's what I would expect from them.
Yeah, and I get that too. I didn't mean this to become a.
Well, yeah, no.
No.
But that does get into like my quibbles.
So it's one of yours.
But first of all, like staying positive for at least the starting out. First of all, I think Marvel actually has a chance to get an Oscar this year for their makeup this time, because when you look at Drax and because there's a lot of close-ups of Drax and Gamora and Nebula, and it is amazing.
No, Nebula, really specifically with her, because I was really looking in the detail they had around her eye, and it was really good.
And God bless those actors.
Right? Good lord, all the gold paint, the green, oh my gosh.
We're gonna bring up the gold people.
Gold people.
Paris Hilton?
No.
Because that's all I see. She looks just like Paris Hilton. I had the IMDb in the middle, and I kept going, I've seen you somewhere.
I recognize
Elizabeth
I was like, no,
right?
I've never seen her in anything. She looks like Paris Hilton.
I've only seen her in 2 movies. I love her.
What else is she in?
She was in The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
I haven't seen that yet.
Who was she?
I'm surprised you haven't.
She was the she was just the bad guy in that one too.
The blonde. Was she the blonde girl?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. I only saw it once, and I was
I love that movie.
barely paying attention, but I remember her from that. And I just know she's in Great Gatsby because her name is on the credits on the soundtrack. But yeah, no, when I saw her in the starting credits and everything and pinpointing her as that, like, I was like, yes, because I love her as a villain, because Man from U.N.C.L.E., she was fantastic in that. And then in this, too.
I just recognize Ben Browder. He was the guy next to her, like the general or whatever. He had a British accent, which was weird, but he really pulled it off. So he's from no, I can't remember it. Farscape.
Farscape.
Yeah,
Never watched it.
He's the main character. He was also in Stargate and a whole bunch of other shows.
Okay. So why do you hate the gold people?
They're so annoying. They should have started at the beginning. In the beginning, they were fine. The chase scene, the whole arcade thing was funny and stupid at the same time. But then that's where they should have ended.
Arcade.
I don't need to see like their.
And how they're playing a game. I love that.
It was
That's
it was
so
fun.
smart.
Yeah,
it was fun, but it was also stupid. But yeah, it was great. Like, oh, you suck, whatever your name is.
Yeah, they're like he's the last one standing.
The typical, oh, you're doing great, and then they die like,
stupid.
oh, you suck. But then after that, never see them again.
That's the family entertainment.
Yeah. But why not see them again though? Like
they were just an annoyance. They just came in like,
well, yeah,
coming in. They didn't need to be there.
Obviously, they're there to progress a story.
There is no story.
Well, they're there
for future movies.
I think there'll be future movies.
For
you'll
future
see them.
movies. For
but
Adam,
also,
for Adam Warlock.
It's that whole thing where, when we thought that they were gonna win, and then that's what disrupts everything. That to me, I was fine with it.
I didn't need that.
Yeah.
I didn't need it at all. They just were this annoyance that just kept popping up and.
Yeah, so what's Adam Warlock? Because I didn't get that whole teaser credit.
I don't know a whole lot about him because I know he starts out as a villain, but he's also a good guy. He has at one point he had an Infinity Gem, Infinity Stone. I think he was the Mind One or something. He's one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel Universe.
All right. So he's obviously going to be. Is he going to be in Avengers? Is that why?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I think he'll be the villain for Volume 3.
Volume 3. Which means gold people are coming back.
Yay.
I don't need all of them.
No,
I just want.
I'm not alone in this.
I just want Debicki.
It was weird.
Yeah.
And I would hate to be those actors.
Right.
Yeah.
God bless them.
The contacts and
all of it. So I won't admit this often, but I guess it's going to go on the interwebs. I teared up at this movie.
I know a lot of people who did, yeah.
And it's one, I've never gotten emotional at a comic book movie, even Logan that I watched recently.
That killed me.
Well, I mean, it destroyed me, but I didn't get choked up. And I blame it on being emotional for my senior day next week. But anyways.
Sure.
Yeah, shut it. It was the funeral for... Remind me? Yondu. I keep wanting to call him Xandu.
Understandable.
Yeah, that's probably why. It's
Xandar.
The planet Xandar. Okay, so Yondu, like
Xanadu.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking of.
It got me. Like I was definitely choked up. And
the funeral didn't get me. It was when he was dying. The music and
that
Chris
started.
Pratt.
And the funeral got me though. Oh my gosh, Chris Pratt. You should all know that I love the angst by now. When he's being like, his eyes are all galaxied over, but then dumbass dad says it killed me to put the brain to
Yeah, and he just...
The audible gasp from the audience every time.
Oh my god, yes, there was one. But then like Chris Pratt was amazing. And I love that as a writer, director, editor standpoint, whatever did it, that there was no hesitation. It wasn't the whole like, let's talk it out or something. No, it was just like guns. Boom.
Yep.
And then he was just, God, he's so good. And Chris Pratt has impressed me in this movie. Like I love Chris Pratt. He's hilarious, and he's a far better actor than I could ever be.
It's interesting.
But they don't always get drama well.
But it's interesting because like we've been able to see him from if you watched Everwood, all the way back then. But like, he's one of the people where you get to watch his career, especially from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And then you get to watch and he's in Zero Dark 30, and then he had this. He had Guardians of the Galaxy. But we've been able to really watch him progress as an actor, and I felt like I got to really see that in this movie, especially with it was actually before that part where he gets angry about his mom dying, or Ego killing his mom, but like the look on his face when he sees eternity.
Yes, like he did so well with all of his facial expressions.
Yeah, and then when Yondu dies, like his screaming,
his reaction there was really really.
When he's like trying to rip, oh my gosh, it was so well done. And I love when he realizes that Yondu was the father, and we probably picked up on it as an audience before they did, even in the first volume. Yeah. And but it's a running theme, like his crew mutinies, and they say you always give him an out, and it's the dialogue that they use verbatim of I was a skinny kid that could fit in places that adults couldn't, and it's good for thievery, and they keep bringing that back and stuff, and I thought that was really well done.
Yeah. And
Kurt Russell was awesome.
For me, he's one of the things that saved this movie.
Yeah.
Because. Well, I'm just going to get into it. This movie has no plot. For 3/4 of the entire movie, you cannot tell me what the plot is. Because there doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And then suddenly...
I really... That would probably, pinpoint exactly why I kind of had the issue with it. Of, okay, where's it going?
Yeah.
Can we move along? Because...
It's
okay, I knew going into it, we're going to meet Peter Quill's dad.
Yeah.
We know what's going to happen. And then it happens.
And you're like, okay,
here we go. Here we go. All right.
Nope.
Still where are we going from here?
And maybe since sorry to interrupt, maybe since I had no idea what was going to happen, I felt the minute we found out that was his dad, I was like, oh, well, obviously that's the storyline, and I was fine with everything, because I was just like, they're going to meet him eventually, they got to get there, and I liked it, so maybe that's, I don't know.
See, that's what I thought when going in was the story was he's going to find out from the gold people, this is my rewrite, you find out from the gold people that, we ran across your father at some point in our journeys, and in his journeys or whatever. And then they get information and they try and find him, and they meet up with him later, and then he reveals himself to be the villain because that was clear from the even the trailers. Was that he was going to end up being the villain?
I didn't get from any of the trailers that that's
I
where it was going to go. I got it.
It's not that's what they showed in the trailers, but that's knowing Marvel's formula. It's oh, he's the villain, and just because he's Ego, and Ego's sometimes kind of ambiguous that way. But what was I saying?
The plot.
Yeah, it just doesn't exist at all, but Kurt Russell's ability to be able to play what they gave him for the last quarter of the movie, or third, no one, nothing. Okay, but his ability to be able to play that was what sold it for me, as well as Yondu and his ability to sell what they gave him as being, the real father.
Yes, I love the actor that plays Yondu, and
Michael Rooker.
Thank you.
Rooker, yep.
Everything I see him in, he was in
Merle.
Merle. There you go. He was in Walking Dead, and he plays a villain so well, but he also this. I loved him in this. Oh, it broke my heart. Chris Pratt did a great job, but so did Yondu. So did you.
Yeah. So yeah, those two were the ones that really saved this movie from me giving it a 2 out of 10. Because
it's really creepy how that they can make these actors look young again. Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
in Avengers.
really good.
And
but
he
the
still
Kurt
looks...
Russell one, that was
because I've seen so many movies.
Well done.
All of his movies.
So well done. You could usually tell, with Robert Downey Jr., Jeff Bridges, and Sean.
Oh, I forgot about that one. That was bad.
It's really obvious. This one I was oh my god, that's really good.
Yeah.
Did they just Photoshop him into this movie from another movie of his? Because it was so good.
Well,
his Bird on the Wire days with that feathery hair.
Oh my god, right?
Well, I thought they were gonna hide it. Because you can't see his face at first because of the windshield.
Bird on the Wire.
Bird on the Wire is one with Goldie Hawn, and they were lovers.
Mel Gibson. Isn't it Mel Gibson?
No, it's Kurt Russell because they got married in their movies.
It's Overboard with Kurt Russell and Goldie.
And then Bird on the Wire as well.
I don't.
I'll Google it.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep on what you were saying.
So anyways, I thought they were gonna hide it because they're hiding it at first, but then it comes around, the camera pans around, and it's oh my gosh, it's actually it looks like a real person.
It is Mel Gibson.
Bam! I knew it.
My bad. I'm thinking of Overboard apparently, and
no, I used to always get them mixed up, but then I was no.
I apologize.
It's Mel Gibson. I always thought it was Kurt Russell.
Now that we've established.
Anyway, yes.
But yeah,
I was right.
I'm trying to decide because Michael Douglas was also amazing in the beginning of Ant-Man. Because they didn't age him super young, but they kind of.
Oh, that was a good one
too. Years back. But yeah, it's pretty scary what they've been able to do these days.
That's creepy.
I just hope it doesn't open the door for bringing back dead actors all the time, because that's just weird.
Yeah, no, they're like, yeah.
But where I was going with that is that even though they aged him down and he's youthful, he is still far too old for that actress.
Laura Haddock,
there's
so gorgeous.
They're maybe because she is more of the modern day look, and he is still the 80s look. Even though, I don't know, I just was like, oh, he's so old compared to her.
I'm trying to think how old she is in real life. I want to say like 34.
Yeah, so that would have been right for him to be about 34, but
she does look.
But an actor in their 30s in the 80s does not look the same as an actor in their 30s now.
Yeah.
Because we have 30-year-olds playing teenagers.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So they did a great job with that, and I love the opening scene. With how she knew he was from the stars and this or that.
The Dairy Queen product placement.
Yes. You always gotta have product placement. Power Rangers was Krispy Kreme.
So at least they're aware of it. They're pretty meta about it. This is just like, boom, Dairy Queen.
And then
Twice.
You see it.
Twice.
But it gets destroyed at the end, so it's fine. She didn't have the actors eating Dairy Queen throughout the movie or something.
Yeah. Transformers and the Bud Light Transformers 4, I think it is. Like the Bud Light's raining down on
oh yes.
What's his face? Mark Wahlberg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was
Gamora, right? Just make sure I say
Gamora.
Gamora. See, there we go. Gamora and Nebula.
Great. I love their I wish they'd done more with it, but I liked where they ended up. Mm-hmm. Karen Gillan was not so great in the first one, but she's really stepped it up. Yeah.
See, I didn't even know. Oops.
Yeah, Gamora? I mean, Nebula?
They brought it up like 3 times.
The first one, yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought, I loved the opening scene when you have it happen. I was like, because the way he's like, family reunion.
Well, yeah, this is from the first one because
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
But
see, and I don't know. I'm kind of the opposite there, where
Really?
Yeah, I thought she did a better job in the first one. Than this one. I mean, not to say she did a bad job in this one, but there were times I kind of felt it was a little too over the top.
No, I felt
some
opposite.
Just the way she would say some things, it felt almost too forced and like she was putting too much.
The speech to Rocket, when he's like, "What will you?" Or not Rocket, to Kurt from Gilmore Girls. What will you buy with your 10%?
I thought that.
I thought that one was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was when she would get angry with Gamora.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Like there were just, and it was like hit and miss almost. Like it didn't happen a lot, but enough where I was kind of like.
One of my favorite scenes was the fight, and she relents eventually, and then she goes, "I win." So that's such a sibling thing.
Yeah.
It was, I don't remember her from the first episode, first volume, and so I didn't know the story. But when she was talking to, what is his name in this movie? All I know him is Kurt Kraglin. Okay. When she's talking to him and she's telling him, and they kind of like zoom in on her face a little bit. Maybe that's why I thought it was a little bit top. But that's really horrible.
Yeah.
That every time I'd lose, you'd replace a piece of my machinery, and then she blames her sister for never relenting. Did she not think that if her sister lost, the same thing was going to happen to her?
Well, the same thing did happen to her, because they mentioned in the first one that Gamora does have cybernetic implants. That's why she can lift up a.
That's why she's so strong and can jump. But I'm saying though, as in that dialogue, they made it seem very sisterly though, that they don't see the other side of the coin.
Yeah, I mean, but because I didn't think about that. I was like, they make it sound like she never won at all.
She didn't. She said she never beat Gamora.
I don't think that's what she actually meant. Like she never beat her ever. I think she did. I think it's impossible that she never beat Gamora at the probably thousands of times they trained together. I think it was just a generalization of she won every time or whatever.
Yeah. I love the scene when she's struggling to pick up the damn gun and then just starts raining down on her, and then she saves her.
And then she tries to choke her, and she's like, "Are you kidding me?"
I loved their whole dynamic, the whole movie. So And then how she's like, release me so I can fight you. You're gonna murder me as soon as I release you. No, I won't. You should lie better.
You're gonna be a villain, you gotta know how to lie better.
She had one of the more shocking moments where she shot Yondu and is like, is he dead?
I know.
Yeah.
I was just like, when that happened.
Because really,
I thought
at that point,
dead.
you still kind of didn't know what kind of game she was playing.
Yeah. I never be mad at
Taser face.
Taser face. I need to look up who the actor is, because like it looks like someone I know, but I'm not sure if it's them. I'll have to look them up later, but that whole thing.
The only thing I didn't like about the whole joke on his face is the Sovereign Girl like cracking up over it. I felt that was a little forced.
I thought a lot of things were forced. But.
Well, yes, but that was one. Like I actually liked his dialogue when he's like, "I'm sending you the coordinates. You tell him." Like I thought that was actually well acted.
I thought that was one though that I thought fit pretty well with her just going.
Well, but she was like cackling. She thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Like it would have been, I don't know. To me, I just kind of was like, I saw that coming a mile away. One of the things that was the most forced, Nebula eating the damn root.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that coming forever.
It's not right. I was like, really? It would have been funnier if they just kept telling her no throughout the whole movie.
Marvel Studios. Family entertainment.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
is like a kind of like he's really adorable, but you know where he's gonna be. They're gonna throw him in, and it was just too much. Especially with the opening scene, it was just like, hey, Baby Groot all over the freaking screen.
I loved it. And I watched it in 3D and got to see it. I love that we didn't really have to watch the fight, that we got to watch him dance. I love that because he's growing up with Chris Pratt and the bunch he's gonna have personality. Like, I don't feel like he had a whole lot of personality in the first movie. Could be a big twig.
Yeah, I liked it.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And then when you see him in the end credits and he's a teenager.
See, I didn't see the whole movie. I was waiting because, like, in the comic books, like whenever he gets blown up or whatever, like the camera has like a toothpick or something, and then like when they really need help, they throw him and he explodes into like a big Groot and just devastates. I was waiting for that the whole movie. It never happened.
They're not going that route.
Yeah.
I can't believe y'all didn't think he was just amazingly adorable the whole movie, because I did.
Well, I'm not.
And then he was crying.
Yeah.
He was crying.
I mean, I didn't dislike Baby Groot.
Yeah. No.
I don't know. I feel like. I don't know. I don't know. I can't really play.
It's a little too gimmicky.
Why I wasn't overly feeling Baby Groot.
Trash Panda.
Probably one of my favorite lines of the whole movie.
And that was well delivered. No, I'm sorry, I took it too far, Raccoon. What I meant to say was Trash Panda. And he's so serious about it. And is that better? Is that better?
I still just like the one with you look like Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Is he a cool guy? Yeah, he is.
Oh, Mary Poppins! Mary Poppins, y'all.
I was waiting for an Ursula / Little Mermaid comment.
Really?
Because when Ego is destroying them, he's got tentacles going everywhere.
Oh.
I was like, come on!
Oh.
But whatever. So what about Gamora and Quill? Their dynamic.
I thought it. I liked it on one hand, but then I thought it was also done a little bit better in the first one.
I like that they're just like calling it what it is.
Yeah.
In this, and they're actually just gonna talk about it, and they're not gonna try to play around like. I mean, they are kind of playing around with it by mentioning it, but to me, that's a different approach. And I like that he makes the joke of, he's like in those TV shows where there's a guy and a girl, and
this is not Cheers.
There's that chemistry between them, but they can't talk about it, otherwise the ratings will go down. Like, I was like, it's true.
Yeah.
Yes. I love them in this, and I love that. I mean, Zoe Saldana in general I love, but her character in this is one of my favorite types. Like, she's the badass with soft heart, doesn't want to let her walls down, yada yada yada, all that stuff.
She plays it very well.
Yes. But one of my favorite scenes is the empath. When she touches him and it's like, you feel love. romantic love for this
Sexual
one.
love.
No, I don't. No, and then I loved it. And then when she feels, what is his name? Drax. When she feels him and they're just cackling about it.
Yeah, when she turns around and points and is laughing.
It's like, this is so not cool. And he just keeps side glancing. I love it though. I love that.
Oh.
You see that? Go ahead.
No, I just remembered when. Oh, what is that? Kind of like last final shot where they're like down and things are falling.
Yeah.
And it's painting around all of them. And it ends kind of on Mantis on the ground.
And
Bam! Just out.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost peed my pants.
And then Drax. Mantis, watch out!
Like
I did not see that coming.
No, God, no.
I did because it was in the trailer.
So we didn't see the
I
trailer.
didn't see that one then.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was just waiting for it. I was just like, this is really cool. And then it's like, wait for it.
Oh, no, that was so funny to me.
She has some of the funniest lines.
No, I really like
ugly.
bringing
I know, she's
Yes.
so happy about
I
it.
know.
I'm a pet and I'm ugly.
I really liked Mantis, but I'm really liking Drax and Mantis.
Yeah.
You're
And
beautiful
like
on the
on the
inside.
inside. She's hideous.
Or when he's gagging, I'm picturing myself with you.
I don't want this to sound racist, but it's her accent that really sells a lot of her lines that are so funny.
Yes. Well,
Wait, can I pet your puppy?
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. First off, the puppy had me, and then he's just like, yes.
Yeah.
And then he
just-
turns.
He's got that like shit-eating grin. Just wait for it.
Or when she's trying to smile.
It was
Oh
a
my
practical joke. Oh yes. What are you doing? Smiling.
But not when you do it like that.
Holy crap! Do you think she actually was crying, or was it CGI? Like when she touches Drax, it was like she turns it on.
I thought she was crying.
On
Really
a switch.
quickly.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of them can do that.
instantly, yeah.
I was gonna say that. So what I loved about the Gamora and Quill aspect is how we see that she cares for him in aspects of the movie without having. It's not forced. Like they're not having to talk about it. But then they do have moments when they're by themselves, like when they dance. The whole she's not a dancer, and then she dances with him. Yeah. I love that. But I also love that we got to see, or I got to learn more about Drax because again, I don't remember a lot of the first movie. That was a really touching scene,
That was
and
the best.
No, yeah.
And I'm so glad they didn't throw a joke in there.
Yes, I was worried they were going to.
Yeah, but that's just such a. Cause like he's sitting there like he's not even crying. Like he's obviously devastated because she's crying when she touches him. But he's just there with like this little bit of a smile as he's watching the fountains or whatever. But I thought that was just such a beautiful way to show.
He's remembering such a happy moment,
Yeah.
but it's still so sad enough
Yeah.
to where she can touch him and just instantly be sobbing
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
It was really good.
What did you think about the soundtrack as compared to the first one? Because I
like the first one better.
I mean, I can't say much because I didn't recognize a lot of the songs
Me
in
either,
this one
but
as
I
much
do.
as I did in the first one. But I mean, it was still good.
When he breaks free and fights Ego, they're doing Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, no, I
So good.
Yeah.
And Cat Stevens, father and son.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Cat Stevens. But also, Peter Quill makes a very good point. Sam Cooke is one of the best artists we have ever had. He's one of my favorites, so I love that that's who they dance to. I do recognize a lot of music, and I liked the first one better because it was probably a little bit more popular music. But I still like that how. And also, that's actually one of the things that bugged me in the first movie because I didn't know this story beforehand. I was just like, really? What is it with the music? Like, this is so stupid. And even though I know they show it with his dying mother and he's but I don't know, maybe because, again, low expectations. It didn't bug me as much in this one. And his reaction when they give him a Zune. Do you remember Zune?
I do. I was cracking up. Yeah.
Like 2005, 2006 or something like that. After the
Everyone's
iPod's
using
been
these
out.
now. And really, there's 300 songs. 300 songs?
I know, he was so excited.
Oh man.
1,000 on your phone,
But I love that this is one of the only... Well, actually, this is the only Marvel that's not product placing Apple. Because Iron Man and all that, they're using iPhones. So it's funny because this is, well, I guess Microsoft, so. But anyways.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny, and because I remember Zunes, they were so much more affordable than iPods, but they sucked. So it was just a very, very nice little nod. I liked that. So I liked. So again, I don't know the story, so I was like, how is he holding that Infinity Stone in the first movie?
Yeah.
I love that they explained that to us. And what do you think about him giving up his immortality?
Meh. He's only known his whole life that he's
gonna die
a human, an immortal. So to him, he's just like, oh, okay. I just barely found out about this. Cool. Whatever.
Well, but I mean, he gives it up for Pac-Man.
No.
You didn't like it?
No.
It fit though.
It was one of those things that's too far.
It was
the music.
It was
like
just random, like.
But the scene when he tells him he can build stuff,
like
he's like, I'm gonna build so much weird shit. He's like,
His expression when he says it, he's like,
so awesome.
Maybe I missed that part.
No, it was when he tells him after they form. Oh, and how about the father-son playing catch? And he
I was on the fence.
I'm still on the fence on that.
I thought it was kind of funny. Just like how he talks about it. He's like, oh my god, father playing catch with their dads. And I had a picture of David Hasselhoff.
Oh my god, David Hasselhoff!
Right at the end.
Oh, I was dying when he.
I gave you any form you wanted, and he's David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Well, no, and even just when at the first she throws out that just random name and.
You're like, what?
She got the Hasselhoff part.
David Hasselhoff? He's like,
He's like, I told you that when I was drunk. Why are you bringing this up here?
But no, just when they form it and kind of pass it, it gets passed back. I was like, they're gonna play catch.
Yep.
It was Kurt Russell's face that kind of sold us. He's like,
yeah.
It's fine.
Maybe. Oh my god, David Hasselhoff. I still can't. How about the end credits? Did you notice the I Am Groot?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's so cute.
Throughout,
And then what would be I Am Groot, and then they'd flip it and put whoever, production design or Marvel Studios was I Am Groot. But yeah, David Hasselhoff was at the end.
Jeff Goldblum was dancing in there too.
What? I missed that.
Yeah. It was just kind of really quick, in between the second and third.
What movie is he about to be in?
Ragnarok.
That's right. Oh my gosh, that looks good.
That I don't.
This movie kind of killed my enthusiasm for it.
Really?
That one.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna get into it because I love Marvel. I love DC. I love comic books in general. I have my whole life, and I love most of what Marvel's done. I love, all what DC's done so far. But this movie is exactly what I don't like about what Marvel's doing, where they just ride the comedy the whole way. This movie didn't have a plot, and it rode the comedy all the way through. And so when I saw the Thor Ragnarok trailer, and you can see my reaction to it too.
Yeah, it's on our channel.
I'm loving what's happening with it, and then it gets to that, yes, we're friends from work, and it's like the humor threw me out of it, and because they place humor above even the character, where that's not Thor, and it's the problem I have with Avengers: Age of Ultron, where everyone's making jokes, and they fixed it in Civil War, where each character is their own, and what they say happens to be funny, like Black Panther and beating Hawkeye, and oh, I'm Clint and I'm Hawkeye or whatever, and he's like, I don't care, it happens to be funny, but it's not reaching for a joke. So that's why I'm kind of worried with Thor Ragnarok, because Taika Waititi, a known comedy director and comedy actor himself, is directing it. So that's kind of what shakes my faith in Thor, which is probably one of my favorite characters in the movies and in the comic books. And it's same thing with Doctor Strange. There's an overbalance of humor with the stupid cape, and just
Well, it's funny you say that this one rode the humor for you, because I felt that was one of my issues with the first one, is that there were so many jokes that didn't hit for me that I felt like it was trying to be. And again, low expectations going into this one. Maybe that's why I didn't see it as that, because the Nebula with the root thing didn't fall, and some of the Drax stuff didn't fall hard. Like now the whole Mantis, watch out, is funny, but when it happened, I rolled my eyes.
So it's the opposite for me, because like the first time I laughed like maybe half the jokes the first time, and the second time it was just kind of like it got a little bit worse too. Mm-hmm. But I also need to get a little bit better in some places. But
so I felt like this one was better on the humor and stuff.
Well, that is the one thing that one of my big problems with. Well, probably my biggest problem with the first Guardians of the Galaxy, with the whole dance off and stuff like that. But yeah, that's my worry with Marvel going on, is just that they're focusing too much on the humor, because that's what they did with Doctor Strange. Was they even said we went back for reshoots and we hired Dan Harmon, who did Community, I think. And you can tell in Doctor Strange where they cut in these moments of humor. And I
remember you saying this now.
Yeah, and they even said, like, because Doctor Strange, well, just a quick side note, like he's a dick. Like at the beginning of the movie, no one can stand him. But they even said, we went back and we made him a more likable person because we couldn't stand to have a not likable character. But it's like, no, he's supposed to be this arrogant, like, barely a human being. And then you grow to like him. But then it's like, at the beginning you see him and, like, even the doctors that don't like him still begrudgingly kind of respect him and stuff. And he gets along with pretty much everyone. So it's, yeah, something that really worries me going ahead.
Well, it's different for everybody, because some of the things that hit me the hardest, that were the funniest to me, were the penis joke, and Chris Pratt's reaction to it, and also Gamora had kind of a like, are you serious? You can't ask that thing. But then I think she kind of fell on Drax's side a little bit, like, well, yeah. I mean,
that's a fair question.
Yeah, it is. And it, like, his point of view is fair. It's like, it's a beautiful thing. It's like, you humans have
well,
angles.
And then he's like, it's a pretty decent size or something like that. Maybe that's going a little too far, but
like, for me on the humor side, I thought, and it's in the trailer, or at least the first one, but it was still even funny just in the movie. Just when he's, teaching Groot about the bomb and what to do. And he's like, no, okay, I'm just gonna tape that one down so you don't touch it. And does anyone have any tape? And you hear Chris Pratt flying around. Yeah. Hey, do you have any tape?
That's what made it even better.
Gamora, do you have tape? Like,
no, tape!
Like, tape! Yeah.
Right? And then she was sitting next to him.
She was standing right next to him. And then he made just the, well, yeah, Scotch tape would work. But then why would you ask if you don't even have any? Like, that was funny. Yeah. Like,
and here's a good
for that group.
Here's what's good about that. When he first started going, I was like, really? And then as it kept going, I was like, okay.
It's still like,
this is funny.
Yeah, like during this, just the huge climactic battle, you have tape!
The Ask Nebula is what got me. Did you ask Nebula? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she was standing next to...
See, I told you, I knew you were lying.
Should just do all this myself. And then he calls him out. He's like, that's why you have, like, bomb parts in your backpack, or whatever he said. And it's...
Yeah, I mean,
you don't have tape.
I guess it really does depend on the character in the group. Because with Guardians, it does make it much better. But if, like I said, if you have Thor and he's making these jokes about, like, because that's not his thing. He doesn't go to the office and work with people and stuff. His humorous situation, like smashing.
So I was gonna say smashing the cup, because that's funny to us, but to him it's just real.
So as long as they know their character and can incorporate it with, like, they should, then it's fine.
And it could very well be that moment in the Thor trailer of him, like, just realizing, like, oh, this might work out for me.
Yeah,
like, it might actually be situational to where he's like, I'm gonna die, like, this is the end for me. And then here's the whole, and he thinks, okay, I gotta win right now.
Yeah,
like,
he's probably been fighting so much.
Yeah.
Why are they cutting his hair? Do they cut his hair into comic books?
Yeah, his hair has
Okay,
been cut.
fine.
Yeah, I wasn't
That's all
happy
I care
about it
about
either.
Thor.
And I have come around more with that part because I do realize, because I was listening to a podcast and like, you know, you have to remember that they do cut stuff. You know, this isn't like straight from the movie. Like this one long sequence is cut from different parts. So I'm more okay with it now. But it's
one of the worst things about comedies, especially a comedy, but movies that feed off the comedy, is when all of their funny parts are shown in the trailers, though. So I was happy, even though I didn't.
That was, I don't know. I felt like this one.
I feel like the first one did that.
Still no. See, I felt like this one did it.
this one had more of those added moments, like you're talking about the tape. Like you could hear.
Yeah,
this time you could hear in the background.
Because I mean, there were still different elements to it happening.
Okay.
In versus the trailer versus in the movie, so that definitely helped. But you know, it was still just I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. No, that's just what I just told you not to do.
I love how, and then the next time he's like, I am Groot. I am Groot. Like you could hear the question on it.
Yeah, like,
and then he
okay.
just boom every single time. It's so cute though. So we gotta wrap this up a little bit, and though we have to talk about one of my favorite scenes is when they all show up for his funeral.
Oh,
The Ravagers.
yeah.
Ravagers.
Yeah, Ravagers.
That's what really got me. Again, I was choked up when Chris Pratt was watching. God bless America. When Quill was watching him have to die for him, and then him talking and crying got me. But what really got me was when they all showed up, and Kraglin.
Yeah.
Yay, Kurt. His reaction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's his captain, and he feels responsible for the mutiny, and then
He's been redeemed.
Yep.
it got me, guys.
See,
got me.
they lost me when they started talking about David Hasselhoff again. Like they did lose me during the funeral.
Oh, when Chris is what?
Yeah.
Quill is talking about it. I don't
Yeah.
usually have this difficult.
But yeah, that was
I
a really good moment.
there can be more with Sylvester Stallone because I felt like that was just a random throwaway casting.
Oh yeah.
So
we'll see.
all right, so when it shows those
Oh wait, yeah.
captains
What
together,
is them getting together? What is
so
that?
that was
about?
the original Guardians of the Galaxy minus Yondu. It wasn't the first one. Wasn't Peter and Gamora and Drax and everything. That's the newer incarnation. The original one was the people that you just saw.
Who were they? Do we know?
These are they're really far out there characters. Yeah. And like the most recognizable one was Yondu. But I did recognize actors like Ving Rhames or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's from the Mission Impossible movies.
Oh yeah. Who was he?
He was the big.
Oh
the
yeah,
big black
that's
guy.
duh.
Oh.
Idiot.
Yeah.
That took me a minute. So
I'm not
I
sure if
literally
it's a
thought
spin-off.
they speaking how we touched on bringing dead people back for
Yeah.
movies. 2 seconds. I was like, is that Michael Clark Duncan? Did they bring him back?
Yeah, I was like
for 2 seconds, I was like,
Yeah.
is that? No, it's not.
when he spoke, I was like, oh, okay.
That's not him.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this up. So, final thoughts. Kick it off.
Are we scoring it or?
I mean, if you want to score it, you want to give it out of 10?
I use a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10 overall, and
Yeah.
okay.
Like I said, Kurt Russell and Michael Rooker saved the movie for me. Yeah.
I would give it probably I'd say 5.5, 6 out of 10. Again, not as good as the first, and I felt a little lost, like I didn't really keep my attention at all times, but overall I still thought it was a good one.
I'd go 7 out of 10 just because I would have probably given the first one like a 3. It's funny though, my dad also thinks the first one was better. I felt like the production value was better.
I felt like it was worse this one.
Really? Oh man.
Like with the anti-gravity where you see the people flailing, looked so bad. It brought me back to Spy Kids. Bad.
I don't even know what part you're talking about.
They're in the forest
in
and
the forest, and he's got the
Oh, that was
the
funny.
guys floating.
you can see them flailing in the moonlight and it's
I thought it was funny.
looks terrible.
I thought it looked good.
I thought Rocket looked better in the first one too.
I liked him better in this one.
It's fine too.
So I would give it a 7.
But here, even, touch on makeup again. Like, there's a big difference between Drax in Volume 1 and Drax in this one. Just from a makeup standpoint.
But I felt the production value was better. And just the acting overall was improved for me. Because I don't know. So, that's what and the writing. I'm going to have to watch it again. Now that because I didn't think I would enjoy this movie. I only watched it because my dad wanted to, and y'all wanted to do a review on it. And I love Chris Pratt. Since I can't say his character's name, obviously I love Chris Pratt.
He gives me hope for getting back into shape. I mean,
right?
Geez.
Well, then I've also seen behind the scenes stuff of Avengers. Is it Avengers Infinity War?
Yeah.
That they meet up with the Guardians.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not sure if all of them are going to be there, because I know Gamora and Chris are there. I don't know about
Drax is going to be in it.
Okay.
Yeah. I just saw something today that someone had made a post of Iron Man and Drax will share a scene in Avengers.
Didn't know Iron Man was part of the Guardians of the Galaxy like a couple years ago.
Oh. Well, there you go. Real quick, I forgot to talk about this. I love Rocket's insecurity. When they're triangle-faced monkey.
Rocket might be in there with saving the movie, because some of his reactions, like when he sees Yondu smile again, he's like.
But he's like, I got a warm feeling for a moment until I saw those nasty teeth. You'll watch the Volume 3?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll probably watch it.
I'll basically watch anything Marvel's.
Yeah. I have my complaints, but I am with them till the end, I think.
I think they're better in the big theater. Like, it's just the whole aspect of it.
It's definitely.
I watched Logan.
You gotta see.
Obviously, and I really liked it.
Not the same thing, but yes.
Well, but it's Marvel.
But it's not.
It's Fox Marvel.
It's not Marvel Studios, though.
Really?
Marvel doesn't technically own Spider-Man or the X-Men.
Or the X-Men.
Oh.
Which sounds absurd.
Spider-Man thing.
It sounds absurd, but.
Well, anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a moment. The Kree. They keep talking about the Kree. Like, are you caught up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, I'm not.
Did you watch it? Did you watch last season? Or the season before?
I know
the Kree comes in.
Yeah, I know the Kree.
And I'm like, oh, wait. Is that the same Kree?
Yeah.
Oh, alright, cool.
Blue people, yeah.
Alright, so that's all I want to know. So like, comment, and subscribe, please. Welcome Adam back to join us. And with all these movies coming out, we'll probably be doing more. Wonder Woman comes out my birthday weekend.
Yay!
I'm so excited.
I'm sorry, we keep doing this, but my favorite scene, the best scene in the whole movie, was, even though it's really sickening, kind of, where they're killing all the Ravagers, Yondu and Raccoon. Just like the music and just Yondu just destroying everyone. Best scene of the whole movie, I think, for me.
Oh, with the whistle thing. Yeah, the arrow.
But even just when they're in the camera little area.
Yeah.
And Rocket is just like looking, he just shoots out the door and turns and then just kind of like smiles and goes, and then goes back to watch him, like, just as you see him through the blast hole in the door. And he's just like,
like, it's really disturbing though. It's like, am I supposed to laugh as if people are being slaughtered, or?
Here's the only issue I have in that scene, and we talked about it in our DC TV reviews, is I get that when he's in the camera room, obviously they're not going to see the arrow coming, but when there's 30 of them with guns pointed and he takes them all out before one of them pulls the trigger, it bugs me. But other than that, it was a cool scene.
Yeah. Though there was a spot that really did bug me was when they're walking down like the catwalk in there.
There's way too many people falling.
Yeah, a lot of people falling. But there's a part where they kind of pan out and you start to see a lot of them falling and they're walking and they're like very far back. There's a staircase that they're just kind of barely walking by and there's a guy coming down and he's got his gun.
Right, you can
he just stops and is like doing this. And then you see the arrow come through and I'm like, how did you not catch that? That was the first thing I saw when seeing the scene.
We're being classic Marvel right now. We're like, we're done. Boom, another scene. We're done. Let's talk about this more. Because I also want to talk about they had several pan out shots of slow motion walking that I freaking loved.
There were some that worked really well.
When they were coming out of the ship going into Ego's ship, that was so well done.
With
Drax, Star-Lord, and Gamora. Thank you. And there were several of them that were very well done.
But yeah, it was give and take for me because there were some that worked really well and then some that didn't. Like when Star-Lord flies out and shoots the one of the gold people's ships in the last fight. That looked a little wonky to me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the one you're talking about, really cool. Yondu and Rocket and
yes, the slow-mo walk up. Yep. So. Anyways. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. We do our DC TV for the next couple of weeks where I yell at him a lot about Supergirl. It's fine. And we will hopefully do some Wonder Woman trailers and we're going to do some more reactions as well. So, thanks guys.